today's video, I wanted to go over some of the components of the FICO credit score. Now, the reason why I want to go over this is not only for educational purposes, but also to give you an idea of the different components so you know what you would need to focus on when it comes to improving your credit score. Because what I see sometimes is a focus on some of the less significant items on your credit profile versus some of the more important items. Now, the most important component of your credit score is going to be payment history. This makes up 35% of your overall credit score. So having a perfect payment history is one of the most important things that you can do, because even if you have just one late payment, and it could be a late payment from 6 years ago on a closed out account, the presence of that on your credit profile will automatically put you in a high risk category. So I wanted to show you guys an example of what your payment history should look like to ensure that you increase your chances of approval. So ideally, you want exceptional payment history. That means flawless payment history, no derogatories, no late payments. So if you sign up for my FICO, this is what your payment history should look like for all of the different bureaus, whether that's Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian. You want to have excellent payment history. So your payment history should have zero late payments, zero public records, zero collections. When it says right here, time since most recent late payment, no delinquent accounts, always paid as agreed 100%. Zero late payments in the last year, zero late payments older than 1 year. So right down here, it says the number of your accounts that were ever 30 or more days late or have a derogatory indicator. So derogatory indicator is the presence of any late payments or any negative payment history on your credit profile, whether it's an open account or a closed account. Even the presence of it will definitely put you in a high risk category. You definitely want to make sure that you address your payment history. Now, the least significant component of your credit profile is going to be your credit inquiries. Now, credit inquiries naturally just stay on your credit profile for up to 25 months unless you do dispute those and get those removed. Otherwise, if you don't touch your inquiries, they'll just be on your credit report for 25 months. However, late payments can be on your credit profile for up to 7 years. And sometimes they don't automatically go away. Sometimes you might have to dispute it. Now, these are the factors that make up your FICO credit score. You have utilization, which is 30%, on-time payments, 17.5, derogatory marks, 17.5. And sometimes you might see on-time payments and derogatory marks grouped together as payment history, which together would equal 35%, which would be the biggest component of your credit score. So these are kind of related, or not kind of related, they are directly related, because, if you have any derogatory marks, that means that you have some negative payment history. And then on-time payments, that's just paying your bills on time, paying your debt obligations on time. Next up, we have average age. So this is the average age of accounts. And then you have total accounts and credit inquiries. Then I know a lot of times people are so concerned about credit inquiries. Yes, you want to limit your inquiries as much as possible. But as you can see, inquiries is one of the lowest factors of your credit score. So don't get too boggled down with, the number of inquiries. It's only 10% of your credit, and it's just a temporary thing. You can get inquiries removed. Crown Credit Pro is a great company to use to get inquiries removed. But at the end of the day, don't be too caught up with inquiries, right? You really want to focus on this on-time payment and derogatory marks, because these are the things that are going to be a little bit harder to manipulate once you've already had derogatory marks or late payments. Average age of accounts, that's one thing you really can't control. I mean, you can add authorized users, but something you're going to have to go through, right? Because credit age is something that you cannot just skip over, right? The total number of accounts, that's something that you can control. And as you can see, the more accounts, it's better. You have the different credit qualities: excellent, good, fair, poor, and very poor. So this really lets you know where you want to be at to maximize each of these different categories. So with utilization, one of the common things you hear is under 30%. Yes, you want to be under 30% because you're either going to land in the good or excellent category, but to really maximize, you want to be at 9% or lower. And actually, I'm going to show you why on the next slide, why you don't want to be at 0%. On-time payments, this is pretty self-explanatory. As you can see, when you go from 100 to 99, that drops from excellent to good. And then from 99 to 98, you go from good to fair. So you could see even with a 97% on-time payment percentage, it's considered poor. Even one late payment makes a huge deal when it comes to your credit. That's why you don't want to have any late payments whatsoever, because it can really set you back. Derogatory marks, right? You're going to want to have zero. The more you have, the less it's going to be. Average age, as I mentioned, so this 9+ means that your average age of accounts across all of your accounts is 9 years or greater. So this is one of the things, as I mentioned, it's kind of hard to control. So to maximize that, you're going to have credit for an extended time, a minimum of 9 years to maximize that category. You can add authorized users, but you really want to make sure that it's primary accounts, because some of these credit scoring models will discount the AUs anyway. So that's why opening accounts early and leaving them open, letting them revolve, even if it's something you may not use, just keeping those accounts open, that's going to help your age. Total number of accounts. Now, and this is very important. The more accounts you have, that means the more data that you have. So opening up accounts, yes, in the short run, it's going to lower your average age, but over the long run, it's going to strengthen your profile because you have more data points for lenders to make decisions based off of. So you want to have as many accounts as you can reasonably manage, right? You don't want to go overboard, but as you can see here, 21 accounts or more, that's going to put you in the excellent category. And then in terms of inquiries, as I mentioned, inquiries is the smallest proportion of your credit score. So I wouldn't focus too much on inquiries, but yeah, you want to limit inquiries in a short time window. That's why we also recommend gardening. You can also work on getting inquiries removed that don't result in any accounts. So you can hit up Crown Credit Pro. They're excellent at helping you with if you have derogatory accounts. All right, so here we have a sample FICO scorecard. It has the different categories of the FICO credit score, a description of the category, and then the attributes. So the attributes is basically where your credit will fall in these particular categories. And then the points are the number of points assigned based on that attribute and what category you fall in. So like, these points correspond to the different levels of the particular attributes. So for example, here we have payment history. So if you have no public records, you're going to get the maximum 75 points for this category. Now, let's say you have a late payment, and this 0 to 5 months basically is how recent was that late payment. So if it was a recent late payment within the past 6 months, so you're going to get the least amount of points, 10. And as you can see, as the time between that delinquency, derogatory, late payment, as the age between that increases, then it has less of a negative impact. So the points go up as the time between the late payment gets longer. After 2 years or more, you get 55 points towards that. So it's not affecting you as time goes on. But as you can see, regardless of how long it's on your report, as long as it's on your report, you're not going to get the maximum value, right? You're never going to get 75 points in this category if you have any derogatory items on your credit. That's why it's so critical that you address the derogatories, because that's going to give you a much larger bump. And remember, payment history is one of the biggest factors of your credits. Next up, we have outstanding debt. Now, this has to do more with utilization, the average balance on revolving trade. So check this out. And this is something you want to pay attention to. So you see right here, no revolving trades. That means you have no revolving credit. So you get 30 points. This is 0. That means you have revolving trades, but your utilization is 0. So you get 55 points from $1 to $99. So that means your average balance is between $1 and $99. You get 65 points. So see how you're maximizing this category by having an average balance. So meaning that if all of your accounts are zeroed out, you're not maximizing your credit. You're going to want to have a balance on one of those accounts. And it's a fine line you have to walk, because you don't want a balance on every account. You're going to want to have some accounts zeroed out, but at least maybe one, depending on the number of accounts. So if you have like 10 accounts, you might have 8 of those accounts zeroed out and 2 of them with a balance, between $1 and $99, you're going to maximize the FICO credit score more than if you were just to zero out the balance. So to maximize the FICO credit score, you're going to want to show that you're using the credit. As your balances go up, the number of points go down. Now you see here with credit length history, this is something you might want to pay attention to. To get the 75 points, having an average age of 48 months or longer, you're really going to be maximizing that particular category. Pursuit of new credit, inquiries in the last 6 months. The more inquiries, then the scores go down. But remember, these categories are not weighted as much as these categories over here, and that's why it's split up. I just wanted to share this with you. I hope this was helpful. Let me know your comments, questions in the comment section down below. Till next time, take it easy, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.